Where do the police belong? So, sociologically looking, we need reform, right? So, what does this reform look like? We can't completely get rid of this concept of policing the streets because essentially we do, like, in a realistic aspect, we have gangs. We have, which, I'm aware gangs are a result of like systematic racism, but in reality, those things are just not going to go away overnight. Like, these are in place systems. So even if we wrote laws and abolished all of these problems, they just wouldn't go away overnight. So it's in human nature to be both good and bad. So I think there's bad people in all places, in all walks of life. So I think police are a necessary aspect of life, and it's policing to what extent, right? That's what we want to get down to. So I'm a big advocate for like public safety and dispatching police only on like upon request or upon like emergency situations that deem for it: burglary, robberies, murders, battery, things of those nature. So what does the reform look like? Give Taking away their ability, the way that they taking away the rules of engagement, the way that they approach citizens, their ability to assess suspicion, all of those freedoms that we um, bestow upon them are technically how we end up in the place we are in. I think we need to dial down the kind of propaganda we feed them, the type of, you know, way that we make them feel, protectors of the community. Yeah, true to an extent. We protect the community, but you also work for the community. It's like sometimes they forget the oath that they take. The oath they take is literally called peace officers, keepers of the peace. They work for the people, civil servants. And it's like somewhere along the lines we lost that, and we need to get back there. Um, so we need to understand that we need to have a police force that does more good than it does bad. And when they do, we need to hold them accountable. Accountability moving forward is the key to success. I've heard the arguments why people get killed too. Yes, they do, but they also make up majority of the population. If you look at the ratio when you compare statistics, the ratios show that black people killed at a much higher margin using ratios than comparison to thus of the white population. Same goes for the brown population as well. So therefore, we need to seriously fix the problem at hand. Police are profiling, and I know for a fact that profiling is being taught, to the police officers and in the institutions because it's still a tool that the police use to some extent. They just there's preferred profiling or smart profiling, whichever word they want to use. But at the end of the day, they're still doing it, and I don't think there's just to react into a defensive or an aggressive sense until you're absolutely 100% sure that you're in danger. Some of these guys, they're already drawn down before they even shoot the person. Like, the person isn't even reaching for anything yet, and their gun's out. They're walking up to the cars, and their guns are out. This is the problem. We need to fix that. They work for the civilians, us, civil servants. And so I think that's where we need to get back to. And like Black Lives Matter is very important because what it's doing is it's this statement, this powerful statement is basically breaking down the barriers, opening up the conversation, making people aware that, minorities are being targeted and that this is an issue and that we need to address it. And the way we know how to address it is using social media, and essentially we're getting to the issues this way. And so I think the big statement Black Lives Matter is actually raising awareness on a lot of issues. But the statement of using the term Black Lives Matter, there's nothing wrong with that. All lives matter, but Black lives are in danger, and that's why Black Lives Matter. And I've even heard, some of my Latinx members talking about how, oh, what about Latinx lives? You know, Latinx lives matter too, but right now we need to stand in unity so that way when we all face issues as a communities, as individual communities, we can unite together like we did for Black Lives Matter and continue to do so, not just when it's trendy, not just when it's on social media, all the time we need to unite for each other. And it's great to see, white people out here supporting Black Lives Matter. It's like I seen in a meme. It's not black people versus white people. It's everybody versus racism. And that's what we need to do. We need to fix the problems in the system and the police need to get on board. Thank you.